Corinthian is using the following three-phase approach. Phase 1. Develop all course content using the consistent educational model, clearly linking course outcomes, instructional objectives, learning activities, graded assessments. Phase 2 embeds learning objects in the Phase 1 text-based curriculum in appropriate ways to assist in meeting instructional objectives and learning activities. Phase 3 is to open access of all Phase 2 courses to different instructional deliveries, the online delivery, hybrid and blended models, and provide campus access to learning objects through the curriculum development process. Multimedia experts like Richard E. Meyer provide significant evidence that multimedia can be used effectively in learning. Because online educators must rely fully on electronic delivery of all course content, it is incumbent on them to employ multimedia principles in the development of online course content and delivery. Textbook publishers are finding it in their best interest to provide not just a textbook, but the learning objects that need to accompany the materials provided in their texts. In addition, creating multimedia learning objects are fairly accessible to online educators and individual graphic design teams. Learning objects can be created by anyone with a certain basic skill set. Once an object is created, it can be reused for a variety of situations. Multimedia learning can be used for response strengthening, information acquisition, and knowledge construction. As Richard E. Meyer contends, people learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. In addition, the development of learning objects using Meyer's principles for multimedia learning can provide a series of best practices that will improve the overall quality of curriculum development. Examining other educational considerations of adult learning styles, andragogy, learner expectations and preferences will provide insight into curriculum development using technology that will enable curriculum designers to provide online learning experiences unique to individual learners. Exploring how learners actually use learning objects could potentially provide insight into online learning and multimedia development. While the learning object repository and data analytic systems are potentially powerful innovations, it is the use of learning objects in online education itself that offer a great opportunity to explore how learning occurs through the use of educational technologies. Multimedia principles consist of 9 characteristics: coherence, signaling, redundancy, spatial contiguity, temporal contiguity, segmenting, pre-training, modality, and personalization. Through these multimedia principles, it is possible to create learning objects for almost any learning situation. Moisey's study, Factors Affecting the Development and Use of Learning Objects, explored the barriers to developing learning objects and the factors that facilitated the effective development of them. The study found that participants identified quality learning objects as those that could be emulated or provided indicators of what high-quality objects should look like. The barriers to developing and using learning objects fell into 9 categories: definitional, skill deficits and the work involved in developing learning objectives, the structure of repositories, the lack of learning objects in certain disciplines, the quality of available learning objects, the granularity of the learning objects themselves, the meta-tagging and cataloging in repositories, copyright and intellectual property issues, and attitudinal barriers. This is one of those areas of technology development that could have significant impact on online curriculum design and would be well worth the investigation and development of learning objects and studies related to student success and curriculum development in online learning. Learning objects are an essential component to the online learning environment. There are a number of factors involved in developing courses that contain learning objects and effective multimedia. First, the learning management system must be capable of handling the content. The content must be contained either in the course itself or be directed to a learning object repository where the content actually resides. Building online courses becomes complicated by the relationship between the publisher and the institution. When the content of the course is owned by the publisher, the institution may have to rebuild course content should the relationship with the publisher or the textbook content change. Instructional design and graphic design teams become an additional layer to curriculum construction process. It is not just about course outcomes, instructional objectives, learning activities, and graded assessment. It is also about the flow and relationship of learning objects. In the innovation decision process, There are essentially 5 stages: knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmation. In addition, the importance of communication channel also exists. This presentation is an attempt to share what is currently known about learning objects. As an online educator, I am fascinated by the opportunities that technological developments can have on the learning process, how adult students learn in an online environment, how learning objects and multimedia can be used to enhance learning and engage students, and the potential for creating a unique learning experience for each student. And the study of learning objects is relatively new and provides a great opportunity for studying the impact of instructional design and curriculum development on student learning. Online learning management systems today provide a significant amount of information regarding how students interact with their learning environment in addition to their instructors and peers. Online academics team members will be the key innovators and adopters. The academics team will consist of program managers and directors, instructional designers, subject matter experts, and curriculum project coordinators. The primary stakeholders and decision maker within the organization include the online academic senior management team and the curriculum design team, including the instructional designers, the associate deans of the departments, and the subject matter experts. These stakeholders will be the ones involved in selecting and guiding curriculum design changes within the LOR, and LMS. They will be responsible for creating and managing the data and metadata related to the learning objects and the online course content. The primary stakeholders and decision makers outside the organization include the contracted technical team, who will be taking the templates provided by the online academics team and transforming that content into the content design within the course itself. In addition, the instructors who facilitate the online delivery of these courses will be impacted by the changes underway. While some instructors are involved in curriculum design as subject matter experts, the majority of instructors online do not impact course development and are outside the community of making curriculum design changes.